Hello, Kimera Hashiv is Misha Joseph an Alaba. Hami fuer agus fluch an Alaba and Jew. The weather here is very bad. Feskerma agus matin va falcha gu podcast acum. Falcha gu learn Gaelic. Hami ha u ha ha I ha shin ha shiv ha it. In Gaelic, the word for town is vala. Now, you hear it sounds like a V sound there because of lenition. A vala or bala. Vamianza vala acum and Jew. Now, I think we should know what vala acum means. My town. Vamianza vala acum and Jew. I was in my town today. Vamianza vala acum and Jew. Va e fuer agus fluch. Listen again. Vamianza vala acum and Jew. I was in my town today. Va e fluch. It was wet. These last few lessons we've been making very simple sentences with the verb to be. For example, ha mi pla va iet fuer va shiv fluch. These are very simple and very useful sentences. But what if, perhaps, you want to say something a little bit longer? Is it possible just to, for example, insert a word instead of it? Well, unfortunately, the answer is no, as you would expect. Let me explain. Let's take one sentence. Ha icha bria. Ha icha bria. Or we could say ha la bria, for example. So in this case, all we've done is we've replaced with a word. So for example, ha bria, okay, is fine. But is it okay just to say something like hala bria? Is the day beautiful? And of course, translated, it's the day is beautiful, not is the day beautiful. But the literal translation is the day beautiful, because is in Gaelic comes first. So hala bria, ha bria, hala bria. Well, you probably think that yes, you can do that, and you will see this written sometimes in some grammar books, but it's only written that way to try to help you to understand basic sentences. The truth of the matter, however, is not quite so nice. Let me explain. First of all, the word la, L-A-T-H-A, means the day. It's pronounced la, and sometimes you can even see it written as L-A, la. Okay, so ha la bria should have an at the end. A-N-N. Halabria an. Halafur an. And I know what you're going to ask. You're going to ask, why do we need an at the end? Because if you can say ha'ifur, ha'efur I should say, it is cold, why can't you just say halafur? Why does it have to be halafur an? And it's a very good question. I'm going to try to explain. In Gaelic, an, well, it has a few meanings. It can mean in, but A-N-N at the end of a word is there, how can I say, is to create some kind of existential moment, to state that something exists. Okay? There isn't really any English translation of this, except perhaps when you're talking about the weather, you might say, oh, the day is cold, isn't it? Is some kind of affirmative phrase for yourself and for other people. An is something very, very similar, but it doesn't mean isn't it? It actually means in itself. So it's a kind of a reflexive. The day is cold in itself, isn't it? Which fits very well if you consider the way Gaelic people speak. For example, Kimara Hashiv, Kimara Hashifein, how are you yourself? So it should come as no surprise when we say the day is cold in itself, isn't it? It's just what we say. I'm afraid there's no other reason for that, but you will hear it. It is correct, but some people don't always use it. So, halabria an. Halabria an is day, beautiful in itself. It's important to remember that this an changes. If an means in itself, it also can become in herself, in myself, and other things too. But let's just worry about an for the moment in itself. Ha icha vria an. You can also hear the lenition there because H has been put in. Let's try a few more of these to see if you can remember how to use it. Halafur an. Halafluch an. Halapla an. So, halabrio an. Halasnog an. Halamath an. Halama an. So TH is silent. Remember gleva? Okay, so it's ma, not math. Okay. So that takes us to where we use an at the end. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's not actually as complicated as it sounds. It just sounds difficult, you know, but it's really not so bad. So we spent a lot of time saying what is, but how do we say the negative? Well, it's very simple actually. The negative simply is chaniel. 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 But you might notice from these examples that chaniel is followed by the definite article, which is sometimes abbreviated, and it also causes lenition sometimes. So, for example, Chanel amatin va. Chanel amatin va. It isn't such a bad day. Chanel amatin va. It isn't a bad day. Literally, it isn't a bad day. Chanel amatin va. Let's try another one. Chanel an la snog. Chanel an la snog. What could that be, do you think? So Chanel, it isn't. An la, day. Snog, lovely. It isn't a lovely day. Chanel. And it's a very easy thing to say, but just remember to put the article in, because, for example, ha la brio an, la has no article, but Chanel an la, Chanel an la snog. Let's try another one. Chanel la ma ananju. Okay. Now I'm going to add something else in here. Chanel la cho ma anju. Okay, so Chanel la, so it isn't day, ma, good, and in itself, today. Okay, now this is really interesting because the cho in there, the CHO, means such. Okay, so Chanel la choma ananju. Now, if the cho wasn't there, the Lenition rules may well apply. Chanel la va ananju. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that we spend some time on lenition, just so that you're very clear on what triggers it and how it works. But right now, we're just focusing in on some phrases. Okay, so the difference between the positive and the negative is the negative shan, chan, yale takes the article. Okay, so Chanel an la snog, but hala snog an. And the very obvious question there is, does Chanel also take an? And the answer is yes, it does. Okay, so if you're making the sentence out of the positive, which has an, then you would also put it in the negative. Okay, so it's very interesting. So two things to remember there. One is the lenition, and the other is an in itself. Well, that's all from me for today. So until next time, cheery and razda.